gosh, just like the way you think is just not normal.
I appreciate that. I know, you don't want to live up here. It's crazy. Like, it's like full of confetti and like random ideas just spinning around and like thoughts of my dog.
Hi there, Bridal Club. Did you know that about 66% of couples don't hire a wedding planner for their wedding? Well, Justin and I decided that because we have super busy schedules that it was the best investment, and trust me, it has been so far like crazy. So today I have a very, very special guest on the podcast. I have my very own wedding planner, Macy Pulliam. Macy is the genius behind Social Llama events and a bunch of other cool projects that she's about to reveal to you. Whenever someone asks me how my wedding planner progress is doing, I only just point to Macy and say that she's the boss. I want to be a guest for my wedding, and while I understand that that is not something everybody's for, Macy is going to explain the differences between a full-service wedding planner and a week or day coordinator so you can find your perfect fit. Let's uncover the secrets of creating an unforgettable wedding experience, whether you have a planner or not, with Macy Pulliam. We're discovering all things wedding, from Will You Marry Me to You May Kiss the Bride. I'm your host, Andrea. Welcome to the Bridal Club.
Leave it on.
I will first.
Okay.
We are at Social Llama events. That's the only reason I'm wearing this wig. I don't feel like you would see wearing this anywhere else. Let's start.
Okay, absolutely.
This is Macy. Macy's actually my wedding planner, and I'm super excited to be in her headquarters here in Dallas because she toured us around. She has a lot to say, and she's full of personality. Macy, for those who have no idea who you are yet, tell them who you are. Tell them a lot about your personality, which I think shines through everything you do.
So I'm Macy Pulliam. I am the owner and creative director of Social Llama Events. We are an experiential event design and production company. What makes us really unique is we have a custom fabrication here in-house. We have a large inventory of event prop rentals. So not only are we able to design and produce social, corporate, and wedding events, we're also able to help bring magic to all of our clients and customers through reimagine rentals, and then also building something from scratch. So we have our big anniversary party on Friday. So I launched Social Llama in June of 2018 out of my garage in-house. Everyone thought I was having a garage sale because you would come by anytime, and then there was just stuff everywhere out in the driveway, and I would stay up until midnight, 2 a.m. in the driveway spray painting walls for events that we had that weekend. And
I love
and like I said earlier, there was no rule book for me to follow, so I was figuring out as we go.
Okay, so I'm gonna take my wig off because I feel like I'm not taking myself very seriously.
No, I think that's a great way to start it.
I love this.
This is laid back. The other day I was telling someone about our company name, and they're like, well, how did you pick Social Llama events? Where did that come from? When I was launching Social Llama and picking the company name, I knew how important it was to have something that was catchy and different, because first impressions are important. I wanted it to be reflective of my personality. I wanted it to be reflective of the events that I hoped so badly that we would have the opportunity to design and produce. So both of those are unique, they're loud, they're different, they've got a lot of personality. So if Andrea thinks that llamas are awesome, but Justin thinks they're disgusting. If a llama walked in to this office today or walked past you both on the street, you would both stop, stare, and appreciate how unique that creature is and how different it is. So for our events, whether it's your cup of tea or not, my goal is that you can appreciate how unique the event is, how creative it is, all the attention to detail that went into it. So that's that's the llama piece of it.
You actually put a lot want to put a lot into this. I love it. I love it so much. So obviously you spoke about the Social Llama experience a little bit, but I want to dive in a little bit more on that. I want to, before you even tell me more about from your perspective, I obviously hired you because of this, because I see in you what I don't see in myself, which is this super fun, outgoing, wow factor everything, and I really wanted that for my wedding, Tell me a little bit more about the Social Llama experience from your side point.
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, when I look at the Social Llama experience, it's so important to me, like two things come to mind. One, it's how design driven we are. And I'll go into a little bit more of that in a second. And the other is relationships. So I look at it as almost like an interview, but it's from both sides. Like, you could love us so much and want to work with us, but if I don't feel, or our teams didn't feel like it's the right fit, like that's not going to be successful. And vice versa. So for us, it's important that working with weddings for 100% is that it's a great relationship.
And I love that because for me and for Justin, we're so busy. We work 10 to 12 hours per day, and I just trust you. You know, in fact, people that ask me like, hey, how is planning going? I'm like, I don't know, because I don't even feel like I'm planning.
You are going to feel really weird and like have this like out of body experience of like, why aren't I stressed out? And then you'll start getting stressed out because you're not stressed out. And I'm like, okay, that's a good feeling, because just know that like we've got it all handled.
I actually reached out to you and I said, what am I supposed to do? I feel like I'm not doing anything. Please help me. I'm stressing out. Literally what you said.
Exactly.
I'm stressing out because I'm not stressed out, and I work with brides literally every single day.
And they're stressed out all the time about it. And so that's what we want. That's what we want to happen. We want to be able to do it all. It's the biggest day that, it's a day that all girls and brides think about. And there's no reason for it to be stressful. I mean, especially if you're hiring someone like us who is handling like full design, production, planning, coordination, the whole shit.
And we'll talk about like everything that you have, right? But for now, for us, we did hire her like
full service. Full service.
And when you mean full service,
we mean full service.
Exactly.
We can go into some fun examples of that here soon. That's for sure.
And basically, what Macy did, she asked us questions. She was like, here's your homework, the very minimum homework you're gonna have to do.
That's a great way for us to like bring up the experience.
And let's actually, you explain that.
When we talk about the SLE experience, I mentioned the relationship piece and how we're design driven. So that falls into that design driven piece. Like, not only are we trying to think of, out of the box, larger than life, never been done before, crazy unique design elements and concepts for all of our events and weddings, but we want all of those designs and details to be tailored to our client. I think there's nothing more special than being able to walk into a room and people to learn something new about the bride and groom. Which is like crazy, and that's what I think of. Like, obviously everybody there at your wedding is special and important to you. That's why they're there, especially at yours, because you're just so intimate. But my goal is for people to look around and spark conversation with the person next to them, like an icebreaker, be like, oh, I didn't realize that about Andrea and Justin. Like, oh, I forgot, that's so cool, I love that fact.
We went to our catering event, or sorry, not event.
Our
we went to our
tasting?
catering tasting, and Macy basically said the execution of everything needs to be, this way, and then she was already kind of planning the day, and whenever you're gonna serve this, you're gonna say this about Andrea, because the guests need to know that. I'm like, oh my gosh, just like the way you think is just not normal.
I appreciate that. I know, you don't want to live up here, it's crazy. Like, it's like full of confetti and like random ideas just spinning around and thoughts of my dog.
I love it. This is why you do what you do.
So for that SLA experience and how we can build those tailored designs is we call it insider info, which you did such a great job of answering the insider info. But instead of questionnaires like what's your favorite color or your favorite flower, we put together unique statements. So for example, a lot of them always say, Andrea has a Diet Coke every morning. Andrea and Justin can't go a day without a cappuccino. The goal is not for them to answer it and say, I don't like Diet Coke, I like Dr. Pepper more. It's just to start thinking of unique, random, off-the-wall things.
Where do you really get all this inspiration? Because right now you were just talking, all of a sudden like, oh my God.
I know. I wish I could figure out the best way to concisely put into words how I do, but it's crazy. It's just like I'll be driving on this side of the road and I'll see an orange cone. I'm like, oh wow, what if those orange cones were all tied together and they were hanging from a chandelier, and now we've got a really cool construction theme centerpiece.
That's wild.
That's how it works. I always hope this comes across the right way, but I truly had no idea how talented I was when I started Social Llama. I didn't. I knew it was a passion, it was something I liked to do and enjoyed to do, and I was like, I'm pretty good at it. But I think once you really take that chance on yourself, I don't know, something kind of unlocks maybe.
I'm gonna share a little bit more about. We did the question. Well, it wasn't a questionnaire, but the statements.
Oh yeah, the insider info.
Info. And then what you created was like a booklet for us of like the entire wedding. And I remember when I was a little girl, like I had this Barbie book that had my name on it. Like the entire story was me as a Barbie, you know.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
And this was when I was young, and I loved it. So that experience, like as soon as I even get the chills thinking about this, but I got that booklet where it's like Justin and Andrea's wedding, and you literally say like how like you describe the wedding day.
Yeah.
And I mean, what do you call that booklet? It was such an amazing experience just looking at it.
I love that so much. That's the goal. So even for our social events, we put together a full design concept and design deck. But for weddings, it's like on steroids, obviously, because there's so many more parts.
Yeah.
But what she was mentioning about telling the story is that I consider myself a wordsmith. So I type out a full narrative.
Yeah.
And the goal is that as you read it, like say like, I read it out loud and Andrea had her eyes closed, is that she could truly like picture herself moving throughout the entire event.
It's like a whole experience way before the wedding.
Yeah, exactly. And that book includes the narrative. It has only a couple inspo mood photos. The majority of it is like true mock-ups and renderings to paint the picture of what that day will look like.
Let's talk a little bit more about wedding planning.
Yeah.
If somebody were to look for a wedding planner, what do you suggest? Because I feel like most people are not going to hire someone thinking that they don't have a budget, and I just believe that it's so important, you know, to actually be there present on your wedding day and to not have to be worrying about every single thing. So I don't know if you knew this, people hire about 15 different vendors for a wedding, and so having to manage all of these people. Like,
I mean, I can't imagine people doing that.
I know
on their own. You know, I mean, like that's what we do for a living, and we enjoy it, and we're good at it, and we have tips and tricks. But
so walk me through like how is it like to hire a wedding planner for you, and then also why would you suggest somebody to actually do it?
Gotcha. Yeah. So I'll start with the last question first, because there are a lot of different options when it comes to hiring a wedding planner. You can obviously hire a wedding designer and producer, and that is the relationship that Andrea and I have, that you and I have together for this. But then there's other tiers. We only offer the full service experience, but there's a lot of amazing wedding planners and coordinators within Dallas and across, obviously, the nation, that have that unique gift of organization and logistics and those pieces that is so important. So definitely my recommendation is that you have to have somebody, whether
even for the day, correct?
Even for the day, so figure out what your budget is, figure out the level of the event, the wedding event that you're wanting and planning to host, but you have to have someone. It can't be your mom, it can't be your best friend, it can't be a sister or a grandma. You have to hire someone that's unbiased, because there's a lot of family dynamics that happen in wedding planning, and especially the day of. But all those people I mentioned should be enjoying the day.
I agree.
You want them there to support you and your fiance. You want them there to enjoy it. And I think that is the biggest mistake people make, is just thinking that they don't need someone, or that they hire as volunteer someone.
Yeah, quite frankly, I don't think I've ever heard of somebody saying, I regret hiring a planner or event coordinator, ever.
No.
Like, that is one of the things that they never
Not at all.
regret.
Not at all. You want someone there, at minimum the day of, like telling you when to go down the aisle, like making sure that the flowers are in the right place, making sure that the catering is ready to go before all the guests walk in.
There's so much.
There's
just
so many
much.
moving parts.
I know. So I was talking to John Kane, and he was actually telling me that just planning a wedding is basically like building a new house. And so there's so many moving parts that you don't even know about until you're actually there. And the budget that you thought you had for something is not what you thought, and there's just so much to it. So hiring somebody who knows what it's like, and once things go wrong, because probably they will, like the bride shouldn't even know.
The bride shouldn't even know. Exactly. Like, I'm not gonna share any of them, because that's the whole point. No, you should never know. But I mean, in every single wedding, like, something has definitely gone wrong or not gone the right as we had planned behind the scenes, and that's why you have someone who knows what they're doing, that can think on their feet and get creative and make things happen.
Yeah.
And then I think another big piece and benefit of hiring a planner beyond like the actual logistics and coordination and day of is someone that has experience to help manage your expectations.
So budget is a big topic that I have, like, that I really want to talk to you about, because I think it's one of the misconceptions of just wedding planning. Let's talk a little bit more about how uncomfortable the setting a budget is. So can you guide us through how it is for you to help the couple set one?
Yeah, absolutely, because wedding budgets are something that people don't know. Like why, and it, you know, why should you know how much a wedding costs? You've never done it before.
Sure.
But, you know, like there's no reason that you should know how much things cost. So,
and there's so many variables too.
And there's so many variables. And you have social media, you have Instagram, you have TikTok, you have Pinterest. You have, you know, influencers. You have all these people that you're getting fed this content of these elaborate, beautiful weddings, but like no one's sharing how much those things cost. So for us, it is extremely important to be upfront, to manage expectations. I not only want to manage your expectations, but I want to manage myself.
Sure.
Because we dream big and we've got big ideas. So our very first conversations are about budget, of like that initial, what are you hoping to spend? What do you think makes sense for, you know, for you, your family, your lifestyle, etc. I would say from there is for brides and couples to figure out their top things, like their non-negotiables, or what they really like the most. And we can use it as example, like, you know, you love flowers, or you love food, and you want a really great band. So if those are your top three things, those are the ones that you're gonna be willing to spend the most on. So from there, getting those quotes and learning how much those three items cost. Because then it quickly resets your expectations. If you're like, okay, I was thinking this, but now that I know that those three things that I just have to have and I can't live without are coming in at X price, can I reevaluate my overall budget? Or do I need to re-gauge my expectations and say, okay, let me trim back on those three areas to make sure that I have room for everything else. So that's my biggest recommendation, whether you have, especially if you don't have a wedding designer or like a full-blown planner and you're doing a lot of the legwork up front, is to sit down with your your better half, your other person, and to figure out your non-negotiables.
And I love that you said that, because, for instance, for us, I really wanted a very specific tent. And when I came to you, I had no idea what the tent costs, because I went online and I was trying to look for pricing and I just couldn't find any. Which is why it's so hard for people, you know, to try to find pricing and set a budget. So I came to you and you were like, well, if this is the tent you want, let me do some digging, but I'm going to come to you, I'm going to tell you exactly what it costs. So exactly what you said. You know? So you were actually aware of where we stand. And
it's almost like working backwards is the way I look at it. Is these are the three things that we have to have. They're coming in at this. Now, so that's my starting point.
And I love that you actually came back and you were like, but if we do this type of tent, it's going to be a lot cheaper. So you gave me the option, okay, if you want to do that way, you're going to save money, and then you'll have a lot more budget to allocate to somewhere else.
And so I think that's one thing that we make sure that we do, and we try to do a really great job of, and that I would recommend for anyone watching, is to be understanding and flexible. Because we will always come with other solutions. Like, hey, I know this was your dream tent, and here's what it is, but look at these other two really great options that will get you, you know, a similar aesthetic, or will get you to that budget that you wanted. And to be flexible. That's, even people come to us with like unrealistic requests.
Which happens a lot, I bet.
Absolutely. Because people, again, see things on social media, or they've been dreaming about it their whole life. And so, I mean, I feel like I sound like a broken record, but managing those expectations up front of, great, I hear you, that's an awesome idea, but let me educate you a little bit on what that process looks like, because people don't know the sourcing of materials or what it looks like to build it or to get someone to produce that. So just always making sure that people are flexible, that we're going to provide you with a couple of different solutions or options.
I love that. And honestly, I mean, it's really hard to say no to you.
Great.
You come up with all these amazing ideas and you present them, and you're like, oh my God, I just can't say no to that. Because then you want to remember your day by something that's so amazing.
And I think that the reason why it's so hard for you to say no is because it's your wedding. Like, not is it your wedding in the sense that, you're getting married, but like, we designed it to you.
Sure.
And to Justin. So like,
exactly.
So when you're reviewing it and you're looking at, like, you're tied to like so many different elements of it. Because it's representative of you both.
But I will say though, we had a conversation, I think it was a Zoom meeting, and you were like, I just want to protect you and what you said your budget was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, then I was like, okay, if we can add a little bit more, it is what it is at this point. But you were like, are you sure? Like, I want to make sure that you're comfortable. I want to make sure that it's under budget, or like we're in budget.
Yeah.
You know? So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And providing, different suggestions for you.
Yeah.
I mean, without giving like too much away. Can I say we're doing fireworks?
Oh yeah.
Okay, without giving too much away, like a great example is we have a fireworks show at Andrea's wedding, which is really exciting, and that was one of Justin's non-negotiables that he wanted, which is great. Like, wonderful. I think fireworks are amazing. Of course I want them. But you can have different increments of shows. So I was able to present you with, great, here's what a 4-minute show would cost, a 3-minute, a 2-minute, and things of that nature, so that way you have those options. And that way you're not necessarily, like, say you went with a 1-minute show, like, it would still be great.
Okay, let's talk about some challenges that couple have typically in their weddings. I know you listed a few, but tell me a little bit more about those.
Okay, so budget is obviously number one, and we've hit on that. But so I think for budget, having a realistic budget and having those conversations with each other, if the two of you are paying for the wedding, or having those conversations with family members if they're contributing.
Yes.
No matter what, even though like your friends and your family, those conversations can be awkward and hard.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge. Two, I think one of the biggest things is family dynamics. And even if you think you don't have family drama or dynamics, almost always you do. And that is a benefit of having a planner, because if you let us know ahead of time, we're aware of it. My girls, if one of my girls is overseeing the photos being taken, they know for a fact not to put Sue up there next to Jane. Or, when we're doing the table setting, we make sure to know that these people need to be at opposite tables.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
And we've done that at a lot of events and a lot of weddings, and it's seamless.
And you actually don't think about it until you're planning the wedding and you're trying to figure out the seating chart and all of that. That's right. Let's talk a little bit more about my wedding without giving a lot of details, because obviously I don't want to ruin the wow factor.
Exactly.
For our guests.
Okay. So I think the best way to describe that is your wedding is that everybody knows that you love black.
Yeah.
Right. But I think people will be maybe shocked or pleasantly surprised at how we incorporate your favorite color, but also incorporate other colors.
Yeah.
And how well that they truly marry together and speak to who you are. Even though we're, adding other things besides just black, it is still 100% you.
Oh my gosh.
And then beyond that, it was our goal to really make everyone feel very special at the wedding, and to create different moments. And so one thing that we did was, we created 2 very unique spaces within her tent, which everyone knows you have a tent, and we created several interactive elements.
Oh my God.
So I think we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really want to have another conversation with you after the wedding.
Yes.
Like once we have like the video and everything, we can actually showcase it. So how can people find you? How can people actually hire you? I guess you do weddings, as you said, like maybe 2 per year, or something like that. But tell me more about, like, if somebody has a birthday party or something like that. Tell me a little bit more about that. Yeah.
So everything from all social and corporate events. That can be anything from a first birthday party to an engagement party, a 60th birthday, or like a big company holiday party. And recently, about 1.5 years ago, we launched event tiers, which is really, it's awesome for me. I'm a yes person. I want to be able to work with everybody if I can. And in my mind, I've always said, like, if I can't have the whole pie, like, I will at least want a slice of it, because I want to be a part of those moments and experiences. So we have 3 new event tiers now. The top one is our full service event tier, and again, like when we say full service, we mean it. And then below that is our social chair tier. So it allows us to still come up with a great design and concept and theme, work with vendors and curate an amazing event, but we are not staying for the duration of the event. Where in full service we normally are, and we're running around and we're bussing tables and we're making sure the VIPs are happy and have the cocktails in their hands, and that it's a well-oiled machine. But with Social Cheer, we leave right before the event starts, so we get it all set up, and then we don't handle venue coordination or food and beverage.
Okay.
So it's truly focusing on like the event and the decor, the design.
Okay, awesome.
And then our tier below that, our most basic event tier, is what we call Phone a Friend, which I love that name so much. And you can think of it as like a party consultant. And it's great because you can come to us and say, hey, I'm having a backyard barbecue, or it's my daughter's first birthday, and it allows us to still bring that special like Social Llama magic to it. So that normally includes a couple of customized rentals. It always includes a theme with a matching logo for it. So it could be like Andrea's summer backyard barbecue, and we create a really great logo for it. So the logo, the rentals, cups, the logo on cups and napkins, and then a couple of what we call SLE sweeteners, which again are those like special, unique touches that we can pack into a box and then just have delivered or have a client pick up.
Nice,
So
I love it.
that way it allows them, we can be a party consultant and they can still have those special touches for us.
And then you also have the rentals.
Yeah.
You obviously tour your warehouse, which is amazing. Can you tell us more about that company?
Yes, absolutely. So Social Llama Rentals falls under our Social Llama umbrella. And honestly, it's like one of our pride and joys. It's awesome. It came out of nowhere. Like when I first launched Social Llama, I had no idea I was going to have a rental business.
Yeah.
But it started because I was designing events and I had ideas for things that didn't exist in Dallas or that I didn't know where to find.
Yeah.
So I quickly found a carpenter on Facebook Marketplace. And he built my very first piece, which was a cotton candy cart.
Yeah.
It was the very first thing I had
Nice.
custom built. And then from there it was building me walls or my champagne walls or anything else that we would reimagine. And then all of a sudden we ended up with this large inventory because every event I wanted to create something custom. I wanted to build something unique that was tailored just to that client in that event. And then our inventory just kept growing and growing and growing.
We were touring your warehouse a little bit earlier. Can you tell me more about like how you started, just in case we don't, like I just want to make sure that whoever's listening to this podcast actually get to know more about your warehouse, like how you started, the square feet, where you were before, what you are now, and what you said about every single thing that you have there that you customize and make and build and paint, all the things.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's a great segue with our rentals department. Because every rental is reimagined. And so the best way for me to explain it is like, you have a party this weekend and it's all black and white. So she needs an 8-foot bar and a photo backdrop that we design, we show her, she loves it, approves it. Well, then the very next weekend, those same 2 pieces could be going out for Vicky's friend's birthday party, and now they're pink with polka dots. Like, so everything is reimagined and nothing leaves our office or warehouse ever looking the same.
And again, if you go to Instagram, nothing looks the same.
No, you reach out to us via email. We can share, we have a event services deck that we can share with any of your viewers if they reach out. We can work with folks just with a la carte rentals. So again, you're having a backyard barbecue and you need a bar facade for the self-serve wine or for a bartender to stand behind. We can create one that's really special for that event.
When you go to Macy's Instagram, which is Social Llama Events, well, she has multiple, but this is like the main.
Yeah.
You see her personality not only in her videos, but actually in every single event you do.
Thank you. Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, it's like loud, fun. The wow factor is there, and again, it's just her personality without being like cheesy though, which is what I love about you, because everything is like classy. I mean, you just go check out her social media.
Thank you. So honestly, the options are endless, and it's our goal to be able to work with everybody. So Instagram, we have Social Llama Events, and we have Social Llama Rentals, and we have our website, socialllamaevents.com, which will allow you to contact us, and then also get to our rentals website too.
Yeah, and definitely check her out. I mean, again, I'm a fangirl, and I've always been. I feel almost like a creep trying to like look at everything that you do all the time.
I
love
it means
everything.
the world. I love it.
No,
so
seriously,
much.
you're amazing.
Thank you.
for
Love you.
for everything.
Wow.
I can't wait for our wedding. It's
gonna be amazing.
Amazing.
Learn about all things wedding straight from the experts. Be sure to like and subscribe to Bridal Club.